Hello, everyone.
We're back in the calmness of our Bollywood-style hotel room.
It's nice and quiet.
Yes.
Hey, congratulations, Francis. This is your 10th broadcast.
I don't know how that's possible.
According to Facebook. Anyway.
I don't know.
Anyway, so we want to take a few minutes. This one might get a little bit lengthy, so if you're listening, just hang in there with us. We want to take a few minutes and share with you lessons learned from our first adventures here in India. So we've kind of made a little short list. We've been talking about these kind of things throughout the day. So Francis, lesson learned number 1.
All right, so one of the things that we did when we booked this hotel is it was really all about the price, right? So the price and then the clean bathroom.
Cheap
that
hotel.
was like super important. I didn't really have a concept of location, and I didn't really understand anything other than, hey, it would be close to the airport.
Right.
And when we flew in, I figured we'd be tired and it'd be nice to be close to the airport.
So that was really convenient the very first night.
Only.
But it has not at all been convenient since then,
No,
right?
no.
Because we're probably about 13 kilometers from the city center. And the city center is where everything is at. The metro system, if anyone's familiar with the DC metro system, it's set up like that, where you have the center of the city. It's kind of like the National Mall. They have like a mall area like that. And then everything branches out in a spoke wagon wheel, type effect with the roads and everything. So the closer you can get to the city center, the better.
It is.
And we are definitely way too far out because what we've discovered is when we want to go into the city center and we want to do something, it takes too long.
Right. Way too long.
And so when you factor in the transport time getting there and the transport time getting back to your hotel, it really limits to how much you get to do during the day, especially if you like to sleep in like we do. And you
Or hell, what about just liking to not have people all over your space?
Exactly.
Or how about not being in 1,000 lines with all these people yelling and screaming at you?
So those are things you're going to have to contend with when you're traveling.
Yes. So it's closer to city center. Okay, next one is, Francis, you should have paid a little extra. Should have paid a little extra for a nicer place. Maybe bumped it up to maybe like a 3-star or
Somebody
4-star.
maybe got a little cheap. I don't know.
Thrifty.
Thrifty. That's a good word.
Thrifty.
However, fuck that. You need to pay more money.
Your mother's listening.
You need to pay more money and upgrade your hotel.
Yeah.
If you can afford it, spend the majority of your budget on your hotel. The reasons why? Because your hotel is your oasis.
Yeah.
And when you get back from the crazy...
I mean, you guys were out there with us. You saw what a banana land it is out there.
You want a nice, clean, comfortable place. And although our place is comfortable, it could be a bit better. But the main thing is if we had ponied up a little extra money, we could have gotten much closer.
Right.
And that would have made life a lot easier. So.
Okay, so also, even if you're in the city center, and even if you're like super close to where you're planning on going, just think about only doing maybe 1 or 2 things a day. So New Delhi has a vast amount of things that you could be looking at, from the tombs to the markets to
temples.
Excuse me, lots of different things.
There's a shit tons of things to do here in New Delhi.
So don't overwhelm yourself or overtask yourself. So just like 1 or 2 things, really. Like we went to the temple yesterday. Was that yesterday? And we really kind of thought we were gonna do maybe like 4 things or 3 things. We were so glad that we didn't have anything else like life or death we had to go see. We were just done after that. And you guys, if you saw the video, you understand why.
Yeah, I had like 4 things planned and we did like 2.
Okay.
All right.
So the next thing is to bring U.S. dollars and exchange them at the airport. So you can go to just a regular, currency exchange and take about $200. $200 would have been a good amount of money. We had
to start with. To
start with, yeah. So you get that exchange in some rupees. We have a really good app that we use for currency, and it actually just updates itself. And it's intuitive, so it knows what country you're in, and then it just switches over. So you have the ability to check out the currency.
So the main thing is it's a cash basis system, and when you arrive, you need to have rubies on you.
Cash is king.
Because the first thing they wanted us to do at the hotel is pay for our hotel stay in advance and cash. And their credit card system was broken. And, they probably just don't want to use credit cards because then they have to report that income. But for whatever reason, cash is king here, or rubies is king. And so you need to have a minimum of $200 US equivalent in rubies, and that's like 9 gazillion rubies, however that comes out to get you started. Then we were able to use ATMs relatively easy.
Rubies.
Yeah.
15,000 rubies.
You can use ATMs later on once you get established and you find a good safe location to go to. Most ATMs we've seen or been around have been guarded actually. Go like to a bank that has the ATM inside and go during the daytime.
Right.
And you won't have any problems. So
we did that, and then also connect with a local. So you want to connect with a local. We found our guy Raj off of couch surfing. He introduced himself to the couch surfing community, which was very good. And then also we connected with some folks today at the co-working space. So it's important once you connect with someone who you feel good about, then it just kind of changes everything really for you. You get a better understanding of what's going on locally. And then I would just say, if I was in a room of a bunch of Indian people, which I have been lately, I've been around a lot of Indian people lately, if I needed help, like today I was looking for some help and we were just totally lost, I looked for
turban.
A Sikh.
Look for turban and beard.
A Sikh because part of their tenet is to be helpful and kind and very benevolent to people.
And our friend Raj is Sikh.
So he explained all this to us.
From him.
So now when I see those guys that are like that, I'm like, oh, that's like somebody
the Sikhs,
helpful.
They're the people who's feeding the homeless here in India. They are the people who have boots on the ground who's actually doing shit and getting shit done.
Yeah.
So if you're in trouble and you're in a foreign country,
look for the turban.
Look for a tall turban. Don't be scared. They're not a terrorist. They're helpful, okay?
Yeah, they're not scary.
All right.
So anyway, the other thing I would say is when you get like totally overwhelmed, like senses are gone bananas, and you're just like ready to, lose it, cry, I don't know, suck your thumb.
Even the local guy said that happens to him from time to time.
Pull my hair out, I think is what he said.
Right.
Go to a movie.
Yeah.
Go to a movie. Go to a local theater, a cinema, find a movie.
Find a proper shopping mall.
It's super cheap.
It's clean.
You can go and you can
air
just
conditioned.
be calm and
it's
watch
quiet.
the movie. And they're actually really good movies.
How about, other than the metro, how about getting around town?
Okay, so Uber. Uber's what we've been using. Uber's been the godsend for us because because very few people speak English that we've come across. And with Uber, you're identifying where you're headed, and they know where to pick you up, and it's already paid for.
You can use your credit card. You can connect your credit card to your Uber account, and no cash needed to exchange with the taxi driver.
So that's really
no
good.
haggling, no being taken advantage of.
No.
You want to use Uber, or there's also a backup system here in India called Ola. We haven't actually used it, but I downloaded their app.
Right.
I've had some problems trying to connect the pay, but anyway, we haven't used it, but it is a backup. But Uber is the best as opposed to jumping into a regular taxi or even a tuk-tuk for that, as far as that goes.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to use the meter. They're going to try to charge you 10 times of what the fare really should be. And in the case of our first tuk-tuk experience here, you're going to end up in some travel agent guy's office and not really where you want to go. So
and we've had him tell us crazy things like the park is closed.
Yes.
Like
the park. You can't go to the park. The park is closed today. Really? They closed the park today?
They closed the street down. You can't go to the street.
Bullshit! And you call them bullshit on it. Take me to the fucking park. That's where I want to go.
You said it twice. Your mom is listening.
I've said the F word a couple of times here.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so use Uber to get around, avoid the regular taxis, even avoid the tuk-tuks if you can. But if you do jump in a tuk-tuk to go a short distance, just be persistent. Also, don't give them too much information. That was our mistake.
Yeah.
He seemed like a nice, genuine guy. He was dressed really nice. He was dressed to nines.
Because he's like
tuk-tuk driver. But man, was he working us. He just started a general conversation, and based on the information I told him,
where are you guys going?
Yeah,
What's next?
We ended at a travel agency. Yeah.
Let me take you here.
Yeah.
Let's go inside here. We'll get a map.
He did end up taking us to where we wanted to go ultimately, but not before doing that and telling us that it was closed. So anyway, So that's getting around. Anything else?
That and just plan ahead. So one of the things that we've had to do, and this is just part of the process, but it's so important. Pre-planning is like super important. So before we ever walk out of this door, we know where we're headed. We know how much money we have in our pockets at all times.
It's separated too, by the way.
We're like seriously doing some mental math in our head.
Francis has the big bills, and I have the trinket bills.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The small bills.
And we know what things are going to cost, and so I'm constantly adding up those numbers, so we have a really good, clear understanding. But you have to plan. So I know like how much it's going to cost from here to there, what we're going to need, how much money we're going to spend on our food, and then you guys have to really keep up with what's going on. You can't appear like you're lost.
Right. Because then they're like vultures coming in.
We're always on.
You got to have your shit together.
Like we're moving fast and we're going straight through to where we need to go.
And when they try to stop you to get you to get in their cabin or tuk-tuk, you just say no thanks, and you just
we're not
keep
rude.
going. No, thank you. We're fine. Thank you very much.
And yesterday I spoke Japanese to most people because they kept driving me bananas.
Yeah, when you say arigatou gozaimasu,
they don't even know
they
what
kind
to
of leave
say.
you alone. They don't know what to say to that. So
Yes.
Frances just act like she didn't speak
Madam,
English.
madam,
Yeah.
madam.
Arigatou gozaimasu. So anyway, so that's a good strategy to use. Now, you may be thinking, oh my God, I never want to go to India. It sounds horrible.
Well, they would be pretty correct.
The people must be terrible, but that's not the case for everyone.
No.
Just like anywhere else, there's always bad
true.
people. And there's always really good people, and we have met some incredibly nice people. Even on the train.
Really nice people.
Even on the train. The guy
that's
we
right.
talked to yesterday
Right.
had a really good, lengthy conversation. He really was interested in politics and talking about our president or whatever. But we had a lot of laughs and just a really good time on the train. So there are really good people here, just like there are anywhere else. However, there are lots of people who are looking to make a quick buck. And if you are naive or you look like you don't know what the hell you're doing or whatever, then they're going to swarm in on you. But if you've got it together and you're going from point A to point B and you just keep moving on a straight trajectory, you'll be just fine. So that's our tips for lessons learned, our first adventure here in India. If you're able to, maybe you may not want to start your adventure in New Delhi. It's a little overwhelming. What we're hearing and what we're understanding, we'll give you more details later, is that the further south you go, the more calm it is and the less hectic it is as opposed to New Delhi. So stay tuned for further updates. We'll let you know if that's true or not. Tomorrow we're going out with our friend Raj. We're going to go to Old Delhi. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be one of the highlights of the trip. And then after that, we leave to go to Agra, which is where the famous Taj Mahal is. So be looking for some cool locations. And then from Agra to Jaipur, and the guy that we talked to today, that we met with today, he's going to set us up on a tiger safari.
Oh my gosh, we're going to see some tigers.
Tigers.
From a truck without a top. So it's like a flatbed dumpster truck.
So you don't want to miss that. No, you don't want to miss that. So stay tuned. Keep up with us here on Facebook. That's probably the best way.
Yes.
As we have time, maybe on the train as we're traveling, I'll be posting some more posts. It's just hard to do it all. But stay in touch. Give us a thumbs up.
Yep.
Leave comments below. And
those of you that are in Mississippi, please just let Judy know that we're not, that we're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fine. All right.
Okay. And we love you, Mama.
All right. Love you, Mama. Love all you guys. I want to say hi to Michael. Want to say hi to Christina and Amber. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Ciao.